nasty a terrorist?
Well, I think in the sense of the word that people go and join a terrorist organisation, I don't know how she couldn't be.
Do we know that to be 100% true, or is that what the Turks are telling us?
Well, I think what we know is that she didn't just one day pop up in Syria suddenly in love with these people.
So
I think she's gone there for a very particular purpose. She's a part of a cult, and that cult is a death cult.
Do you know that to be true? Because you get briefings.
Well, I'm
security
not talking about briefings, but I know
that we're not privy to.
Yes, but I know you shouldn't just pop up there one day by chance, backpacking across Europe.
So you're 100% confident you're calling her a terrorist. The media are reporting her as a suspected terrorist.
Oh, for goodness sake. Well, the media can say what they like, but I'm saying very clearly this person is not somebody we want in New Zealand. We have been left in a situation because the Australians got very quickly took away her citizenship, and we've got 2 little kids to now deal with as well.
Should she be repatriated? Shane Reti, your deputy, told Radio New Zealand the decision was the right one. Jerry Brownlee, your Foreign Affairs spokesperson, says if he supported the move... he wouldn't say he would support the move. So whose side are you on there?
Well, Shane is simply saying this is unfortunately the situation we've found ourselves with. Through no fault of New Zealanders, we are going to have to pick up the pieces at a time when we can't even... We're asking Oranga Tamariki and people like that to be involved at a time when public confidence in Oranga Tamariki, I'd say, would be probably the all-time low. So it is a terrible situation. I feel very sorry for those children because, Ryan, I've seen people survive bad fathers. Very seldom do I see people survive bad mothers.
Goodness me, you're calling her a bad mother as well.
I am too.
All right.
So a shocking situation.
The Wallabies, the economic exemption to travel here, are you happy with that?
Look, I am, and it's on the basis that the Australians are already in a bubble anyway in terms of the Wallabies. We do need something. Look, if it was good enough for the Wiggles, I'm sure it's good enough for the Wallabies. Obviously, there are clearly different rules for different people, and we're seeing that at the moment. I would have thought the best thing we could have done is to have a vaccine rollout in New Zealand and Australia, so we wouldn't be possibly going through the same questions that we are at the moment.
The Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison has apologised to the Australian public for its slow rollout. Their vaccination rates are roughly on par. In fact, I think they're doing a bit better than us. We're 124th in the world. Should Jacinda Ardern apologise for ours?
Well, pretty obviously. I mean, the Australian Prime Minister has apologised. I think it was the right thing to do. The Australians were pretty much told what we were told, which was, they're right at the front of the queue. Turns out we're the last of the queue, and we're the bottom of the developed world. That's why we're so vulnerable for this Delta variant of COVID. If it gets through MIQ or some other place, it's going to end up in New Zealand. We could have a real problem here, and that is all down to the fact that we have around 10% of the population vaccinated. That's simply not good enough.
Very quickly, just coming back to Suhayra Aden, would you pass a law to auto-revoke the citizenship of a Kiwi if they join a terrorist organisation?
Well, it is something that we should at least think about.
Because John Key didn't, when you were in government last, you didn't, and the Australians did.
Yeah, and the problem is now we've been left with that. And so I think that is something that we should at least, as a country, consider.
Well, that would
Very hard to do that with somebody who's born in the country.
You've come in here and you've slated this woman left, right and centre. A law like that would prevent her from coming here. So why not? Why wouldn't you pass it?
The trouble we have, of course, is that she's born here, and that's the issue. So that is something we should at least consider. We shouldn't make knee-jerk reactions. We should consider it. I'm happy to slate that woman. And I would say this, I fully expect that the mainstream media will very quickly want to do documentaries on her and turn her into some sort of martyr. She is not a martyr. She has been part of a death cult that has actually created misery in
Yes, but some women feel they have no choice when they find themselves in a situation like that.
She didn't find herself there. She went there. She went from Australia. She didn't want anything to do with Australia or the Western world, and she went there.
And this is based off of your reading of media reports or your security briefings?
No,
both?
I'm not saying it because, as you know, I can't speak about those briefings.
But you're
I am, however, saying she went there.
All right. That is the opposition leader, Judith Collins, 28 minutes away from 7 News.